Earlier had the chance to catch up with Fox Sports' Gus Johnson. He'll be the man on the calls for their coverage of the Big East Tournament. Great guy, talented guy. I think you'll enjoy the conversation. Gus, thanks so much for making time. Good to see you again.
What up, Dollar Bill, my Mansky Lemansky? How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
I'm living the dream. I love it. I'm glad we're talking a little hoops. I got to ask you this, though, first and foremost. We have a pretty young staff here at CBS Sports HQ. A lot of Gus Johnson fans on the show that I work on. So they wanted me to ask you, because some aspiring broadcasters, you are one of the best callers, play callers in the business. Do you practice? Is it natural? The guys want me to get your insights on how you go about getting ready for those moments.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I'm sure those guys know it's fundamentals. You got to know the guys and, have information and, have some stats and stories and stuff. But to me, the most important thing is to always make sure that you have a rhythm to this, man. So whatever you need to do to get your rhythm, to get your juices flowing. I like to listen to hip hop before I do games. You see the players on there, with their headphones on and stuff like that. Well, you don't see me in the background before the game. I got my headphones on. I'm listening to music and Billy Dan's from MOP. He's got a new six-pack out, so I'm listening to stuff like that and listen to the words and how they flow and stuff like that. So for me, that's a little tip. That's a little secret that I use to get myself ready for the game.
I love that. When I was writing, I used to listen to music depending on what the column that I wanted to write, the mood, supportive, attacking, whatever it might be. Can you give us a little more repertoire? What might be in the Gus Johnson Big Tourney on Fox playlist coming up here soon?
Well, I told you, man, it's one of my favorite artists. His name is Billy Dan's from the Mashout Posse, MOP, and he just came out with his own solo record, the Billy Dan's Six Pack, and I'm listening to that. Came out on Friday, and it's perfect timing because I'm getting ready to get into this Big East tournament this week, and so I'm getting my juices flowing. I'm getting my gangster rap on, and I'm ready to hit the floor. St. John's and DePaul. We're gonna have the kid from St. John, Shamori Pons, and he's from Brooklyn. So those are the kind of things that I've been listening to recently. But I'm an old school hip hop head, going all the way back to Curtis Blow. So and Rapper's Delight. So that's what I use to get going, and that's what I'm using right now. Billy Dan Six Pack EP. He's bringing that heat, that fire, and I love it.
I love that. That is so. I was just talking to a young a young millennial, about how they don't listen to full albums anymore. They hop around. So you're just going one. I love it. It is old school. All right, let's talk to the Big East. It's interesting. We know the teams that are at the top of the list, but if memory serves, every single team in the conference this year won at least 7 conference games. How likely is it that we could see a surprise team, if not win the tournament, at least make a pretty deep push?
I think this Big East tournament rather is wide open. I mean, wide open. Villanova, they kind of backed into the regular season championship game, losing their last game to Seton Hall, and then Marquette loses at home to Georgetown. So Villanova wins the regular season title outright. But when you look at the conference from top to bottom, Villanova can win it. Marquette can win it. Although Marcus Howard, he's been nursing a groin injury for the latter part of the season. But then you look at some other teams, Seton Hall, Miles Powell, what Trenton makes, the world takes. That kid is incredible, and they got a good balance on their team. Don't sleep on teams like Creighton, who managed to finish 500 in the conference after a slow start. They can beat anybody. I think that anybody can beat anybody in this Big East tournament, and that's what's going to make it special. You never know what's going to happen, and you could get a monstrous upsets. Look at St. John's. They're playing at home. They're not playing well going into the tournament, but they have the home court advantage, and that might be a huge deal for them. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Gus, you brought up Marcus Howard. Assuming that he's healthy, this kid is so special. I'm not sure people nationally realize just how good he is. If he's 100%, what can he be, not just in the Big East tournament on Fox, but when the actual NCAA tournament rolls around?
Oh, my goodness. He could be one of those guys that could set the Big East tournament and the NCAA tournament on fire. I mean, I've never really, except for maybe Glenn Robinson, but I don't think Glenn Robinson, when he was able to do the big dog, put up these kind of numbers. I mean, this kid, he'll give you a 50 burger with the quickness. I mean, and he's my height. I'm 5'10" and a half, maybe 5'11" and a half with shoes on. And he's just incredible. He's an incredible scorer. He's got an incredible handle. And that's what I think people don't really realize. He's got a nasty streak to him, which I love. And he just knows how to play. And if he gets it going, he's going to be the most spectacular thing to watch in March, because he can score that basketball with the best of them. And, he's just an incredible, incredible player.
Yeah, I love his game. All right, so presuming he's healthy, knowing everything we know, whether it's Nova, whether it's Marquette, whether it's somebody else, who do you think has, from the Big East, Gus, the tools, maybe the momentum right now to make the deepest run in the NCAA tournament and/or the most surprising run?
Billy, you got to ask tough questions like that. Like, come on, killing me here. Villanova is the defending national champion. Eric Paschal, Phil Booth, Colin Gillespie are their leaders, and they're wonderful players. Paschal's a pro. Booth should be a pro. And Gillespie, he's only a sophomore, but he's got amazing heart. So you got to think that Villanova could do it, could make a deep run. Marquette can score. Sam Hauser is a wonderful player. Both Hauser boys on that team are wonderful players, and Joey and Sam, and then you have Marcus Howard. So you don't want to play them. It depends on the matchups too. I got to see the matchups to really determine who will get an opportunity. And then you have Seton Hall. I think Miles Powell, Cheese is a terrific scorer as well. He's first team All Big East. So those three teams in particular. St. John's has a lot of talent. They have Shamori Pons. I think Figueroa, Heron are incredible college players, and they're getting better every day. And I think that with the right matchup, St. John's could go some places. And so those teams, if Georgetown gets in, you never know. I don't know how deep of a run they'll make, but nobody would expect them to make a deep run. So those are the teams that I'm looking at right now.
Guys, I'm 41, and it was only maybe 10 years ago that I covered my first basketball game at MSG. And I was a reporter sitting way up in the nosebleeds, and I got goosebumps. You obviously call games at arenas and stadiums in a multitude of sports around the country. For you, whether it's MSG or other places, are there some spots that are particularly special, and you just feel that sensation of whether it's all or whatever it is when you step in to do your job?
Well, for basketball, there's nothing like the world's most famous arena, especially when the Knicks are good. It's electric. Yeah. It just gives me goosebumps thinking about that right now. Gives me goosebumps thinking about the East tournament and the crowds, and it's just the best arena. It's the best place. It's the best city in the world. It's the Garden. And then there are other places that I'm in love with as well. I'm in love with Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Indiana. I like to call it the Carnegie Hall of college basketball. The acoustics in there are incredible. It's vertical. Rupp Arena. For me, college ball, there's no better place to watch a game than Rupp Arena in Lexington, especially if Kentucky is good. So Duke, Cameron, incredible. For announcers, we got to crawl up into this gantry on the top of the stadium. We don't even do the game on the floor. I remember doing my last game there. Tim Duncan was a senior at Wake Forest, and he came into Cameron and beat Coach Krzyzewski. So those are some places that I love. Arkansas too. Arkansas, just a wonderful gym and a wonderful crowd, and people down there crazy. Fayetteville, when it came to their basketball, especially when Nola Richardson was there with 40 Minutes of Hell. So, those are just a few of the places that I really, really like going to.
Gus, appreciate you. We'll be watching you on Fox Big East Tourney. Say hi to Coach Lavin and Jim Jackson and the rest of the crew. Thanks for making time, man.
My man, appreciate you, Billy. Have a great day.